And one fish, two fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. All right, I think that's good. And a red fish, blue fish. All right, I think that's good. And I sound good on YouTube. All right. Nice to see you, Art. I hope you're enjoying the parties, or the double party. Charles isn't gonna make it tonight. He got called in to work tomorrow, and the dude's been having a hard time catching sleep, so he's gonna try to get some sleep tonight before he has to be in at work at like, I don't know what, like 3 or 4 in the morning. Good God. Anyhow, we're gonna work on the reporter outfit. I should kind of come up with something cooler to call it. Let's do that. Let's come up with a good name for this. I'm going to launch Chat GTP because I'm lazy that way. Chat GTP. Let's try this. Really cool names for a woman's reporter outfit. And let's say 15. Give it a number to work with. And we'll change that to woman's. We'll just do this. We'll see the scoop suit. Ooh, I like that right off the bat. Byline chic. Hey, Rod, how are you doing? Breaking news where. Oh, that's kind of. So, what we'll do is we'll find something in here. Correspondent chic. I actually kind of. Well, correspondent's a long word, though, so I think we'll skip that. Ink and Edge is kind of cool, but not quite works with what I want to do. Deadline. What is that? Hey, Bayo, nice 669. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I like Deadline. The Deadline outfit. I think we'll go with that. So what we'll do is let's pop over to. We'll take that. We'll copy that. We'll go see what it's for sale at Daz. I don't think there is something like this at Daz, but just in case, calendar poses. I think we're good. I think I've got a name for this. Love your vibes. Add me on Discord so that you can join it next stream. Username. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, here's the Discord. Feel free to join. I hope that still works. And what are we doing? We've got a name of an outfit. All right, so I'm going to start sending. So tonight we're actually going to work on shoes and a microphone that we're going to use with the outfit that we have started in Marvelous Designer. So I'll bring up the outfit in Marvelous Designer. I'm going to work on that some more. I'm currently working on the Cave Clothes version 3. I didn't make as much progress today as I hoped. I was wrangling D-Force fur. So hopefully I will get that submitted by the end of the week. But so today on stream we are modeling stuff in Blender, in the Blender. So, there we go. So anyhow, this should be the outfit. If I say recent, is it actually in my recents? It is. I was calling it business set. So that's going to become my reporter set. We're going to use that as the base outfit. We're going to add a pair of heels, and I'm going to give her a microphone. Honestly, the microphone is what makes it news. So it's basically kind of a businesswoman outfit, except we're going to do a little bit of a lean towards news reporter. Me neither. Better, flat tire. Oh no, flat tire. Took all day to get res. Uh, Wait, you can't get a flat tire fixed? Oh, dude. I'm sorry. And my brain stopped. All right, we're done. I'm not working on this in here though. I'm just showing it off. Anyhow, that's the outfit we'll work on. All right, ChatGTP has given me a cool name, Deadline Outfit. So I'm going to close that. I'm actually going to set up a Daz folder for this before I forget. So let's come over to projects. Did I actually put this into something called business suit? So I think in here. So we're actually going to, we'll set it up in here. Let's go get some template stuff to set up this folder. Projects, template. That's not what I need. Investment banking clients emailing me just as stream starts. Wait, I'll take care of that tonight. I need a better template. I need a. Are you my good template folder here? No, you are not. Maybe this one. I want that data folder. I want people. I want runtime, and I need that. Let's copy these. Let's head over to the business suit. We'll paste that stuff in here. Let's see where we're with people. So we're going to need a Genesis 9 folder. Genesis 9. I should have just copied this. You know what? We're just going to do that instead. Let's get that set up. Clothing, vanity folder, new outfit, deadline, outfit. And this one's going to say J8 female. We'll do that. Okay, let me go steal some other folders for in here. I'm going to steal it from Cave Clothes. And we're going to clean these up a little bit. So I'm just going to grab that material file right there. Copy that. Yo, Chris, how are you doing? Dude, I need to make a Chris command for you. I don't think I actually... Did I actually make a Chris command ever for anybody? No. There you go. I've got some I have to customize a Chris command for Chris the Lone Arm Lone Star. We'll give you a shout. We'll give you a generic shout out for now. And then someday when I remember. There you go. Last seen playing the beta of Battlefield 8. Thanks for popping in. I know. Well, it pays the mortgage. just barely, and it keeps the cat fed. And then the chinchillas have to fend for themselves. Anyhow, did I copy that? I'm copying that folder right there. We're going to come over here and paste that in here. I'm going to come in here. We're going to clean this stuff up. So I don't need that. I don't need all of these. That's all cave close stuff. We will update that. Weekend was good. How was yours? You actually have a regular gaming schedule? I caught you really late the other night, didn't I? I think I popped in and said hi just as I was about to turn in. You had a pretty productive day cooking up some burgers. Let's do this. Okay, I don't need these two. This is going to be, I'm going to call this deadline outfit. So we're going to abbreviate everything as a DO. So we're going to rename these. Actually, let's do the power tool rename with the power renamer. I'm going to replace that CC03 with just the DO. And apply that. Your stream schedule is kind of when you have the free time. I get it. Okay, and then I've got these generic shaders here. We're going to change the prefix on all of this stuff. Fairly chaotic. Yeah. I'm fortunate I can kind of keep a regular schedule. And that's how I keep getting 4 or 5 viewers regularly. So that works. But they're good viewers. It's quality viewers. I got the best viewers, and I didn't even have to pay for them. All right. That's all good. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. Then I'm just going to duplicate that right there. So this is for the Genesis 9 version that we will eventually make. So this is all stuff that kind of goes into making products at Daz. And that's just going to be Deadline Outfit G9. And that's got all the other folders that I'm going to populate later on. Okay, so I've named the outfit. Yay. And today we're working on shoes and a microphone. So I think we're going to use this as a microphone, but we need one of those little flags. You're one of those who benefit from order but would rather sit in chaos. Yet lazy me would just rather let it all go to hell. Uh, unfortunately, there's like certain things where it's really beneficial to be organized. As you have noticed, I have a crazy directory tree, and it's actually organized. Otherwise, I would get I told you I feel like I spend half my time navigating to folders in my directories. I would probably spend 90% of my time if I wasn't organized. I am not an organized person. Microphone flags. I think that's what you call these things. The little things that when the newscaster's talking, goes on their microphone. Microphone. I think they call it a flag, right? Yeah, this thing. Oh, and that's how they look. So we're going to take something like this and we're going to put it on our. That's pretty simple to do. So I'm going to model a mic that's going to look like this, and we're going to put a flag on it. Well, it would be really nice if I had a dimension for this. I'm going to see, can I steal that? Nope. Can I move open image in? Nope, it's too clever. It knows I'm trying to steal the image. It's on to me. I'm totally not going to sneak over here and just grab a copy of the image by looking at the page source. That would be wrong. How big is that one? 14 by 75. I need larger. There we go. All right, we've got our image of our microphone. I'm going to bring that in the blender and we're just going to use it to rough out the outline on it. That actually almost looks like chainmail, so maybe you didn't see that. I know we saw nothing. I hear nothing. Sergeant Schultz, just give him a big box of chocolates and you're good to go. Unbeknownst to Colonel Hogan, Sergeant Schultz was a Allied operative the whole time. And so I'm trying to see, does this actually do something stupid like say how big it is? If I can get that, there it is, dimensions. That's the dimension we're looking for. So we can convert that to centimeters or meters. Then I can use that for scaling in Blender. So we're ready to activate the blender. Yo, DJ Ray in the house, baby. How you doing, Ray? I would ask you what you had for dinner, but you're going to tell me tonight. So I'll let you save that so when we're on your stream tonight. Hey, and everybody, check out DJ Ray, super cool cat, spinning the tunes 5 nights a week. Uh, Tune in at regularly Mondays through Fridays, 10 p.m. to whenever. Usually about 3 or so hours now. Is this good? This is good. Did I launch Blender? I did launch Blender. There's a Blender. Oh, this has got my shoe. I'm going to use that. You know what? Now that I'm going to save this. I'm going to clean up a bunch of stuff out of here, and then we're going to make our microphone in here. File, save as. We need to come up here. And I'm working out of this folder over here called Business Suit. So put that in the whip folder. And I'm going to call this Deadline Mic and Shoes. All right, I'm going to clean this folder up because it's got a bunch of extra stuff. This is one of my generic shoe files. And I like this one because I've got a really low poly high heel in here that I'm going to use. So I don't need you. I don't need you. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go through these feet until we find one that kind of fits the shoe. That one right about there is about right. So and then I'm just going to get rid of the rest of these. So that's 07. So I'm just going to clean stuff up in here. I'm going to keep 7. Okay, I don't need this folder here. So just delete hierarchy on that one. Yeah, sure, anytime, buddy. That shoe needs a little bit of work. And, I'm going to, let's do this. I probably don't need that, but we'll. All right, that's all I really need. So that's what we need to keep there. Okay, I don't need that. I have this boot base, so we're not using that today, so I'm going to delete that out of this file. This is actually called boot base. And then I have 2 versions of that. Why? I'm just going to hide one of those and keep those. Oh, I know. One's got a heel on it. And then I'm going to hide that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to move that over here. Get rid of that empty. And then I can just kind of turn that on and off. All right, we're going to set our microphone in here. So I'm going to drop in a cylinder. Actually, before we do that, we have to do math. I have to convert that into centimeters or meters. And I was just looking at 9.84. So 9 point. Actually, what I'm going to say is inches to centimeters. There we go. Is it 9.84? Was that what I said? That's like 25 centimeters on the nose. That sounds about right, actually. So we're going to just drop a cylinder in here. And I'm just going to fit it to the microphone shape. Oh, brain has stopped. It's back. All right, cylinder. There we go. This depth number right there, I need that to be 0.25. And I think I'm going to do 16, and we may subdivide that down. So this is the right height. Of course, our width is too wacky, but that's okay. So we're going to, and then we're going to get that picture in here as a reference. I'm going to rename the picture. You can't see it. It's below stuff on the screen. You can just see me renaming it there towards the bottom. Mike. Actually, it's a WE. Does this load into Blender? I think it does. Actually, can I just drag and drop that in like that? Oh, I gotta go be in object mode. Dang. Let's try that again. There we go. That works. Put that in the center of our universe. Scale that down a little bit. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, you're a little... So that's about going to work well for me. So I'm going to just line you up right about there. And then we're just going to edit our cylinder to fit that. Although, where is that thing? Why can I not see? Is it just because... You should be right there in front of me, right? Okay, that didn't come in the way I really wanted to. At least I've got a size 0.051 or something. I'm going to have to re-bring that back in. And I'm not going to do it that way. We're going to do it like this. Now we're ready. Can I convert you to a mesh or something? Is that an option? No, not really. I did that wrong. Shift A. Let's add an image. And once again, I need to be looking like that when I add the image. Add an image. I want a reference. I'm looking at the desktop. I'm going to sort by date modified because that'll put that mic right there. 0.05 is that. I should just do all of these at once. That works. Gotta get to the groove. All right. Hey, see if you get managed to make it back, buddy. Thanks for popping in. Oh, you know what? We're going to put this behind, kind of like that. And we can look at this from that angle. We'll do this, and then I'm just going to shake this up. I think I need to make that just a scoosh bigger. Yep, that works. Okay. So there's a slight, so here we're going to put a loop cut right there. And then I'm going to want a loop cut right there. And I'm going to need one there. Probably add one right in here. And need something there. And I think I'm going to just put one right in there for shaping. And we're going to put a little bit of a curve on that. But before we do that, we're going to work on scaling and adding. And I'm going to add an extra geometry in there. Nope, not what I wanted. So I'm just going to scale that up, kind of like that. Did I not put a... I guess I lost it. That must be it right there. Am I not looking at this right? I was probably crooked. That needs to be right about... I'm doing proportional editing. That's what happened. Turn that off. That's what screwed me up. I didn't realize that was on. I didn't recall turning it on. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I need to find out parts of a microphone somewhere so that I can. Is that you know what, I'm gonna make this even. My brain says this is probably the same size. So when we scale those, oh, they're not even anyhow. Never mind. And actually, I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller, kind of like that. Need that for shaping. I think that's going to be about right. Let's put another one right in there. I'm probably going to shape that out a little bit. I need a little extra one right in here. So we got that little bit of a curve there. All right, so let's start rounding things off a little bit here. I am going to grid fill that at some point. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a break on that. So let's just get rid of that. Actually, let's do this, and then I'm going to grid fill that in. And I'm going to just turn it a little bit so it looks a little more even. All right, and while we're at it, we'll start setting up our, I'm going to mark a seam right there. That's a sharp. That's a seam. So I'm going to break this down into UV mapping at some point. I changed my mind. I want my seam right there. Is good. Okay, I'm going to add a bit of curve right in here. So I'm just going to do it with this. Maybe add a little bit more like that. I like that. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing here, only I don't need as much resolution. Likewise, I think we're going to put a little bit of a add a little bit of this in here. That kind of rounds it a little bit. It's really subtle though, you're not seeing it. Same thing right about there. Probably good. Okay, so this I'm going to make smaller, and then we're going to grid fill the top. Do I want to just make that smaller, or do I want to do an inset? Oh, apparently I had something there. Yeah, let's grid fill that then. And just rotate that a little bit so it's a little more even looking. Okay, and then I got this little band right in here. We're just going to extrude that out. Control Shift F. Maybe not. Is it Control Shift F? It's a Control F. There it is, Control F. Number of times I did that, you think I would remember. So just pull that out. Give it a little bit of like that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of a break on that. Here and here. Should be good. I'm going to go with that. I don't need to be much more complicated. I know there's probably buttons and things, but we're not going to represent them. All right, let's set up some UVs. So I'm going to mark a seam right there. And I want a seam there and there. And then what I think I want is, do I want to put a seam? Maybe just mark a seam there. And then we'll run some seams down the back. Basically from here down to here. And I don't like these really long polys here, so we're going to break that up just a little bit. Just to help avoid shading errors. All right, pop on that. So that's basically my microphone. I can sub D that in Daz. Oh, neat. Yeah, I need to put a, I want to put a little cut right in here. So, you know, I'm just going to just put a little bevel. Control B. So just do a little bevel like that. And you know what, this time I think I'm just going to put a little loop cut right in there. I could have just added that with a bevel too while I was doing it, but I forgot. And then I'm just going to bring that in just a little like so. You know what, I'm going to mark those as sharps. And we'll mark you as a sharp. And we'll also mark you as a sharp. And I think I'm just going to put a couple of sharps here and here. Okay, so that's pretty much that. And then next we're going to try to make the flag. We should be able to find dimensions for that. Here, we'll pop over the UV editing though real quick. Unwrap. Oh, that didn't go all the way through. Dang. That's better. All right, back to shopping. Microphone flag. B&H Photos. Let's go check that out. See if I get some dimensions. I could eyeball it, but it's really... There you go. 2¼ inch square. 5.7. So we're going to make a... We're just going to bring a cube in. Make it that big. And then we'll detail it out just a little bit. So back over here. You know what? I'm going to flip that around, I think. Just because it just feels right. If I had the extra room, I would also rotate that, but I really don't have that room for it. Also, I should probably assign some materials. So I think I'm going to assign handle, ring, and I don't know. It's there's a probably, you know, when in doubt, parts of a handheld microphone. It's the head. I'm going to call it the. So we're going to have a body, a head, and a head ring. So I'm going to just say mic body, and then we can say mic flag. I could be really lazy and we could just make the 4 sides all mapped together. And we could just pull that off of any square image. You know what? I think we're going to do that. And then the rest of it's going to be, so we're going to have Mike flag and then Mike flag graphic. And then we'll just repeat the graphic 4 times around. So anyhow, we're naming parts. Mike body. We'll do this. Add a material. I'm going to put an underscore in there because Blender will do it anyhow. It just reminds me, Mike body, look good. New Mike head. And I'm going to say Mike ring. And that I'm just good. So I could just change the color of that to something different if I really wanted to, although I'm probably not going to do that. All right, now we'll just assign materials to things. So the ring's easy. Too far, right there. Assign that. And then I'm just going to hide that and select that. Do that. That's going to be part of the head. Likewise, that's going to be the head. Let's give some colors here so we can kind of see what's going on. And I'm not doing logical colors. I'm just doing obnoxious colors that makes it easy for us to separate it out. Is good. Back over here. All right, we're going to add, and we just did this, right? 2 1/4 came out to 5.7. It's about 5.7. We're just going to call it 5.7. Shift A mesh, and we're just going to add a cube. I'm going to come over here. 0.057. Is that right? I think so. Yeah, that's going to be about right. And we're going to set that so it sits on the mic right about there. Yeah, I think that's about in the ballpark. And then I'm just going to shape that. We're going to give it a little bit of a lip. We're going to do a little bit of a round thing. And so we're going to give this some materials. Flag, mic flag, right? Mic flag and mic flag graphic. Where are you? What am I in here for? Oh, I accidentally typed something in there. All right, let's give that an obnoxious color. Nope. I'm lost. What the hell did I do? Boy, I swear, some days. Is it in surface? There we go. All right, let's give it a shape. So we're going to do a little bit of, I'm going to select that and that, so I can do these kind of at the same time. So do a little bit of an inset. I might put a little bit of a break on those. Then we'll do an extrude and we'll scale. Kind of like that. Then I'm just going to do kind of like this. I'm going to add a bunch of loop cuts in here so I can round this out a little bit better. Like that. So grab, I got stuff in the way, so it's going to take a little bit of And then we'll use the loop tools. And we're going to make a circle out of that. Do the same thing down here. Maybe I should hold the shift key down. That would work. Once again, we're just going to use the loop tools. Say circle. I'm going to scale. You know what? Actually, that works out kind of. I got to hide this other mic, though. I can't see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to inset, and we're just going to bring that down a little bit. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to drill a hole in here. It's actually foam, so the hole would actually be a little bit smaller than the mic itself. So let's just make sure. Yeah, and then let me see. Can I just bridge that, or do I have to delete first? Bridge faces, did that do the trick? That did do the trick. So that's kind of like, yeah. I'm just going to add a little bit more detail that doesn't really need to be there. Or not. You know what? I think that's actually just going to be fine. And then we're just going to add one more material zone in here. And you know what? Let's properly UV map this. All right, let's mark those. Mark seam. There we go. Put a seam there, put a seam there, put a seam there. And let's put a seam there and there. And I probably want to add one like right about there. Mark seam there. Good to go. Mark seams there. And a seam there and a seam there. And then I'm going to mark these edges. And I'm going to try to stack these up. I think I can do that. All right, let's pop over to UV editing here. We will combine this with the rest of the mic in a little bit, but right now, U looks good, except these I want in the same direction. And I'm going to make these, so I'm going to use two U-dims for this. So everything except for this one face here is going to be on one map. And then we could just put a graphic on this. So channel 4 or, you know, whatever we want to put on that is what I'm going to put on there. So I need another material zone for that. I'm having one of those days. Are you not, there we go. And Mike, flag graphic. Sign that. Give it an easy to spot color. And then we're just going to take all of this and just drag it off to the side. Actually, before I do that, let me put a loop cut in here. I'm Probably going to get rid of that. Yeah, loop cut's telling me which is the top and what's the bottom. So Control L, RZ, 9D, L, RZ, 9D, Control L. No, that one's good. Control L and rotate on the Z. I hit the wrong thing. Rotate on the Z, minus 90. There's a clever way to pack this stuff using the Unpack Master, and by the time I figure it out, I will be done already. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to do this and just stick these all in the same spot. L. I'm going to move that one over to the right. So GX1. Scale that up so it gets really close to that edge. You're off just a little bit, aren't you? Why? Oh, because I've got this in the way. You know, I can get rid of this loop now. I don't really need it anymore, do I? It's causing the weight of this to not center anymore. So I'm just going to dissolve edges. Select that. And then when I do this, there we go. Now I'm going to combine this with the rest of the mic. Actually, and I'm going to add some extra little loop cuts right on these edges. Just to help with some shading errors. Likewise, I'm just going to put one in there. I probably don't need those. It'll probably be fine. Okay. Back over to here. Get this cylinder back into view. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just combine these two together. Control J. I'm going to call this microphone. Okay, I'm going to combine the UV mapping except for the graphic part. Selecting that. Actually, I got something selected in here already. We'll try this again. Select that. Control I. You know, actually, can we just grab everything? I want to scale that a little bit, just to unselected. Seem to be fine. Let's use the UV Pack Master. Just pack all of that in there. Oh, I'm still using a half-size shoebox. Let's turn that off and then repack. That's better. Okay. All right, I've got my microphone made. What do we got? I still have an hour. Let's get this textured and into Blender or into Daz Studios. So for texturing, we will use Substance Painter because I throw plenty of money at them every month. I should at least use it. So let's export you twice. Export. Whip. You know what? Let's make a substance folder. And this will be deadline Mike. And let's do my presets. So selected only. And export that. And I'm just going to do it again because this is the one that Substance needs with no materials. All right, should be good. Um, what was the newspaper? Well, when I was a kid in the 70s, Clark Kent was actually a television reporter. Um, although in the movie they did make him part of a journalist again, didn't they? He was writing again. But I remember the Superman comics I used to watch. He used to drive around like a news van, and he was doing TV reporting. So they had evolved him. I'm not sure at what point, but the original newspaper reporter had become a television reporter. I know it's so fucking woke. They evolved the character. How dare they? Um. Oh, somebody's trying to evade a band. I missed that. Yo, Lund, how are you doing? I know Seinhauser. I'm gonna admit I do actually like the brand, and it's because of the headphones. I love these headphones. These what are they? The 280 Pro HDs. I've had these for at least 10 years. They are just I can most days I can wear these all day. Those mics as well as lavender. And I went ahead and picked up this is my new mic for 100 and something dollars. Just because I liked the headphones, I picked up their mic. When my Blue Yeti Nano was giving up the ghost. So of course I'm modeling a mic off of one of theirs. I don't know, they're probably an evil company though. All I know is I like the headphones. And I see them all the time too. I'm watching, people on podcasts and things. And my brain stopped. If I had too much money, I would have probably bought one of those Rode mics because I see all the content creators are using them and they look cool. But I'm just not in the mood to drop $300 for what I do for a mic. Custom Flash logos are making those. Yeah, it's going to be set up. Here, we'll take a look. So the graphics will be able to just drop in any square image, and it's just going to repeat 4 times because I'm going to be lazy about that. Right. So easy enough. We just put I don't know what was Superman's tele. So anyhow, I'll find something to stick on there. Channel 4 Action News or something like that. KILL Tucson. um, I've got something weird going on over here. I'm gonna have to read. Oh, what is going on? Oh, you know what? It didn't. Something didn't map right. We're gonna fix that, and then I gotta re-export it again. That's better. All right, now we're ready to export out again. So back over to here, select that, activate the export, do that one, activate the export again, do the materials, back off of here, 1, 2, 3, export that. All right, now we're ready to texture. So we're going to put that off to the side. We'll put that off to the side. We'll come over to activate substance painter, and I'm just going to I want to see if I can find a mesh that we can put on there. Otherwise, we're going to use chainmail. Oh, damn it. I clicked on the designer button again. Don't you just hate it when you accidentally launch Substance Designer instead of Substance Painter? Did I ban the bot yet? I didn't ban the bot. There we go. You know what it is? Twitch chat caught it and hid it from everybody else, so I didn't see it in the chat that I've got on the side. Okay, file new. Select project. That said bubble. I want business. Business suit. I started calling it business suit, but we're going to call it deadline outfit. Whip substance, and I need that one there. Oops. So I say okay to that. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna move this off of. Nah, I think I'll just leave it there. Never mind. I'm overthinking things. We'll just bake our mesh maps here. We're going to leave this white. I'm not going to touch that. I probably should have sent this out without that. Are you still baking? See, we got the two tiles. It'll be fine. I might redo this, but we'll see. I'm not sure how it'll bake the ID map. Are you done yet? You're still thinking. So our good friend Charles couldn't be with us tonight. He's got to work tomorrow. But if you aren't following Charles already, check him out. Oh, yeah. Did that move? I think that might have moved. I think this is running a little slow. It's running slower than it really should be, honestly. My CPU is type. Yeah, it's Substance. Substance and OBS, they're not happy with each other right now. Although I think Substance is working a little harder than it should be. Oh, there it goes. All right, we're done. Now I gotta make the ID map. That's the important one, actually. So let's set that to be 4K. Actually, you know what? I'm probably just gonna save this out as a 2K map. You really don't need a 4K mic map. Here, we're gonna load in that one right there. Looking good. Gonna tighten these up so that I get better fidelity on my ID maps. All right, let's bake that. It's basically going to be black plastic with a wire mesh on top. We're not overthinking this. And then, of course, we have the graphic flash that we can change. So back to painting. Let's go find a plastic. Plastic glossy scruffed. I think that might work. So I'm just going to drop that there. I got a weird overlap in here. Why do I got that? Did I not save this again? Let's go take a look. And that's probably what was causing my... I may have to resave this. Let's try this again. It's doing something in here. That's what it looked like before I redid it, right? I don't know. Oh, you know what? That's hidden. Dang it. Control Alt H. There we go. I gotta reselect all of this. Unwrap that. Pack it again is good. Now we just gotta resave it a couple of times again. Export. Export again. No materials. Overwrite that. Okay, pop over here. I gotta rebake this. And that overlap is probably what was slowing it down. So you know what? I'm just gonna do file new. Doi. Probably faster this way. Discard that. I think that's looking better. Back over to here. Bake the mesh maps. Do that. See, it's going so much faster now that I don't have that weird overlap. Oh, I spoke too soon. Right, I saw it move. I saw it move. I don't know why it's going so slow though. Although I do see the CPU is picked as a room. I thought this thing used GPU more. Hmm. Yep. Impatiently waiting. Ah, there we go. All right. Yay. All right, let's bake that ID map. I'm going to load that one in. I'm going to tighten that cage up for better fidelity. Going to make that map a little bit larger for better fidelity as well. Okay, that is done. I got a bug in here, but I'm pretty sure that's a moth. Okay. It's not moving in a proper way like a wasp. Anyhow, what am I doing? I'm back into the paint mode. All right, this should... That looks better. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to come over here. Going to do that. I'm also going to put that color on there. And I'm also going to put that color on there. I'm not going to put any color. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put it on that, but we're going to overwrite it. I don't even know if I'm going to save that, honestly. I think I want to tweak this plastic. Is my roughness in here? My roughness is in here. I don't need that opacity map. You know, that roughness is kind of... Why are you... All right, anyhow, let's see if we can find a metal mesh for this. Gun polymer. All right, let's go to the substance acid site. Actually, I can probably... They have it built into here now. So I'm looking for a wire mesh that would work well for that. I could probably get away with using like a chainmail on there as well, but I'm just seeing if there's a proper wood speaker mesh. No. If I make this larger, they don't get any bigger. Never mind. I have an option to make those bigger. Nope. There's a wire mesh. Can I change the thickness of the wires on that? If I can, that might be the solution I'm looking for. This right here. I put that onto there. I mean, of course, we're going to scale it up. I'm going to turn the opacity off on that. Actually, I could just back it up with a black color on the background, maybe. We'll see how that looks. I don't think I can make the wire thicker, though. Which is kind of what I was hoping to be able to do. Well, let's take a look at what that does. Nah, I don't like that. I already searched for mesh. Never mind. All right, we're back to searching through here. I might go with that, and it might just be good enough. Printed mesh lace. No, that's not it. Metal screen grid. No, you know what? I'm probably just going to go with this. So we're going to make that kind of a darker color. I'm going to take the roughness down a little bit. We'll lower the metallicity on that a touch. I think I'll adjust it. Yeah, it'll probably be good enough. And I think I'm going to, let's see if we try planar projection. Does that look good enough? Yeah, I think we'll go with that for our microphone texture. So let's just save that out. File, export textures. 5 channels. I'm just going to do 2K on that. And then we'll export that. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of, I have a bunch of extra maps in here I don't really need. Oh, I haven't saved this yet. We're gonna save this. Because it just used these awful generic names, so that's not good. File, save as. Right in here in the substance folder. We're gonna call you Deadline Mike. There we go. Okay, open up the output directory. Oops. Okay, so I need you. I don't need. Yeah, actually, I think I will keep some of these extra ones here. Do I see anything on this? I don't really see anything on there, though. Roughness 2. I like that roughness 2. I'm going to keep that. Do I see anything on here? Nope. So I don't really need that. I think I see some. Yeah, we got the texturing of the screen on that normal map. And I can also see it on the height map, so we're going to keep those. You know what? I'm going to keep. I'm not going to. I don't need. That's just black, so I get rid of that. That is just a flat color, so we don't need that. And that is a flat color, so we don't need that. So we're just going to keep these. Control X. Let's pop. Let's I have Daz open. Let's put it into Daz. And then we'll work a little bit on the shoes. All right, let's set up the folder for this. Content library. Content directory. Daz Studio formats. Add projects. And business suit. We'll just put that in here. And accept that. Come over here. So we're going to put it over here into this folder. Let's turn that back to texture shaded. Let's import our, and you can't see stuff over here because chat's covering up part of it. There, that's a little better. Let's import that. I'm going to put the center of this right there. So we're going to do a little bit of, just a teeny bit of rigging. And by a little bit of rigging, I mean we're just going to put our center point of our mic right there, right about where it'll be in the center of a hand holding it. It just works out a little bit better that way. So I'm going to memorize that. All right, let's add my generic material for this. So there's our materials. Let's put the generic shader on here as my starting point. Excellent. And you guys get to be saved somewhere. Somewhere in here. Runtime textures, me right in here. Deadline. No, I forgot the new folder. That helps. And I think in here we're going to put a folder for the mic. And I'll just paste that stuff there. And then we'll just drag and drop these onto here. So that, they all share, these all share the same UV map. So I can put that base color right there. I got the metallic, we can put you right there. We have this height map. I'm gonna put you into the bump channel. I have a normal map. I'm gonna put you over here into the normal channel. And I got a roughness map right here. That can go right here into the roughness channel. Okay. And then this, I'm going to leave the color blank. I think the metallicity was black, so just turn that to 0. So when I get a graphic, I'm going to put it right here. But I do have a roughness channel that we'll put in like that. And also I got this base color in case, but I don't think I'm going to use this. So I think I'll just delete that out. Should be good. So let's take a look. I think I'm below ground, so let's do this. That'll be fine. Why don't you make a target render in Blender instead? It's going to go to Daz. These are being made to be used in Daz. So that's the reason why I render in Daz. So this is going to be part of an outfit that will then hopefully be at the Daz store. Ideally, next month. Fingers crossed. So I've never really bothered to learn how to render in Blender because most everything I make ends up in Daz Studio. All right, so that's looking fine. So I'm going to save this as a figure prop asset in Daz. And I'm going to stick it down in here for now. Down here, people. I'm just going to put in Genesis 8 for right now. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to stick it right here. No, I'll just put it down here. Eventually, I'm going to parent this to hands and make it a wearable. But for right now, we'll just save the mic right here. And I'm just going to say prop and save. There we go. All right. So the mic is set. Let's find a, I need to put something on there. Station 69, dude. I know. Um, Let's see, 250, 2048 divided by 300 is what? Uh, 6.83. So I'm going to change the page size here. Ba-bum-bum. Slide size, custom. Oh, I already closed it. Damn it. 6 point. Oh, I forgot what it was already. Farfignugan. 683. 6.83. 6.83 is good. Let's put that right there. I don't. I'm just going to say channel 13. Let's just do that. So let's do. I'm in the wrong thing here. Let's come over here. Let's grab a square. Let's take the outline off of that. Let's make an oval. Rotate you. Put you kind of like that. Give you a different color. Take the outline off of that. Let's get some text in here. Let's give that a color. I'm going to make it light gray. And let's find a cool looking, let's make that big first, and then we'll find a cool looking font to go with it. Too big. Something like that. If I do that and then Control B, and then maybe a little bit larger, we'll center that up a little bit better. And maybe if I italicize it, it looks cooler. Probably not. I think I'm gonna just use that for right now. So let's just save you as a picture file. Actually, let's do, yeah, let's save as browse. Projects, business suit, whip. Actually, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and stick you down here in the texture folder. Do that. Switch you over to be a JPEG. And save that. Just this one is fine. Let's put you away. Let's go take a look at our my folder. There it is. And then I'm just going to take that and put that on the flag graphic. You're not mapped right. What the hell happened? Let's take a look. That should have lined up better. That's my U. So there's a little bit on the edges, but seriously. Let's take a look at what we've got in Blender. So maybe Blender will help me figure out why it's not lining up quite right. I don't know. Can I just put an image on here? Bye. You leaving us, Art? Okay, so what the hell do you think you're doing? Oh, all right. I think I can just. I think what. Oh, you guys are off. That's what it is. When I put these in, they didn't slide. That's my problem. Doy. That's better. All right, let's just resave that. Um, and then I'll just update that in here. Da, 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 dum, 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 dum. All right, once again, I'm going to change the rigging on that just a little bit because I want that center point right there. And then we'll just copy that over to here. Copy that over to here. And we are good to go. All right, then I'm just going to resave that and call it good. Oh, I didn't give this a product name before, did I? Dead line outfit. That means I probably have some extra garbage in my data folder. So I'm going to pop over to there and clean that up real quick. See that right there? Don't need it. There we go. And there's the stuff that I want to keep. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to put off to the side for now. Okay, so we've got the mic made. Let me just do a quick render and see if actually I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, we're going to put that aside and we're going to come back in here and we're going to work on shoes. Let's put that into one collection. And then I can hide that and then we can come back over to here. And once upon a time, I made this low poly heel. I'm going to use that as my starting point to fit it to this foot here. So our heel is way too far. Let's turn on. Here, let's do this. And also I'm going to grab these. And we'll do a little bit of proportional. Let me resize this a little bit. Activate proportional editing. And let me see, what is my local orientation still? Yay, my local orientation is running like that. Cool. So I can kind of just do this until that heel starts poking out. And the whole thing's off a little bit, so just kind of pull you out this way. Probably fine. So I need this to come down just a little bit. Okay, we want to adjust this. Okay, so let's put a sub D on here. Generate subdivision surface. I do need a little harder crease right through here. That's better. And then we'll just kind of play around with this to kind of get to fit a little better. I think I'll straighten those up. So if I do that, I can't tell. Is that clipping into the foot? It almost looks like it is. Nah, I think it's just really close. You know what? I think that's the basic shape I'm going to go with. Oh, damn it. Heel popped back out again. All right. Where are we at? I've got 13 minutes. I've got the basic shape of what I want the shoe to look like. I'm just tweaking it now. Oh, now the toe's popping out. Maybe you can get this tip back in just a little bit. All right, let's see if we can get this flattened out. I can, except it's a little more, if I dissolve this, yeah, I think I'm just going to dissolve that for right now. Bum, 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 bum. And then that makes it, I can just then select these and flatten those. Oh, it's, I got to switch that to global. Then I can, that's better. And you know what I should have done? I also throw these into the equation. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so I got a little bit of things coming through. What do I got going on here? Oh, I see. It's like I inadvertently flattened that part when I wasn't supposed to. It's because I probably had proportional editing on. All right, let's back up a little ways. There we go. Let's turn proportional editing off and then flatten. That's better. And that's what screwed up the toe coming through. Got it? I'm getting a weird little strain in here. Oh my, what's going on with that? Is that just what I think it is? Did I actually accidentally get end guns in there? I did. Can I just fix that by welding? Or merging? Yeah, that was it. Okay. Okay, let's add some creasing in here. I think I've already got, is that UV mapping? Not really. A little bit. And I've got a weird, let's make sure that is creased nicely. Excellent. I think that's creased. Let's make sure you are creased. You are creased. So I think I'm just going to extrude on a normal and just pull all this stuff out just a little bit from here to here. Is it Control Shift F? Nope, Control F. Extrude faces along normal. Yeah, I think that'll do the trick. And then I need to add a little bit of creasing in here. There and there. Probably there. I don't really need that creased anymore. I do want to pull this down just a little bit to match that. And then we'll just crease these two edges right here and here. I think something like that. So I'm going to do a little bit of a solidify. And we're going to build the inside of the shoe now. Although I'm probably... Or do I want to do that with these? Do I need that extra? I think I will. But I think to do that, we're going to blow off some of these polys here. So we're actually just going to make a copy of this at this point. Hide that. Come over here. Because I'm going to get rid of these. And I'm trying to select this right here. Hopefully have you loop around like that. Excellent. And I don't think I want to actually grid fill this. Although I am going to want to split it. So I'm going to put through here to here. Like that. Put a split through the middle of that. I think I can just put a couple of tries on the ends of those, but we'll see how that looks. Here, here, and here. And then do the same thing over here. And then what I want to do is do a solidify, bring it in a little bit, and then use that as the interior of the shoe. I can't see. I think yeah, it went minus. I think we're kind of good on that. Although when I put this back, yeah, let's apply that. What are these modes? Complex or simple? I don't know. Fill should be good. Let's apply. Tab out of here. Let's apply that. What the hell? What the hell? maybe maybe we'll just stick with simple. And then I'm going to get rid of the, oh, that is much too thick, isn't it? All right, I'm going to back that up. See, I just can't see what I'm doing here. That's better. Although that's a little thick, isn't it? I think I'm going to go with that. So then we're just going to pull off the exterior. You know, maybe I have to apply you first, then you. And I think, I'm not in edit mode, am I? I am now in edit mode. Let's see if I can just grab this thin little strip right here. There we go. And if I can hide that, select that and Control L and delete. Yay, that's the interior. And then I can merge that together with the other part. So I think we're going to apply the sub D to the other part at this point. So let's give you some materials. What is right here? I thought I got rid of you. Oh, I know what you are. Yeah, we are going to get rid of you. There we go. That's all I need. So I'm going to have an insole. Do I have an insole already in here? Probably. Looks like I don't. Okay. I'm doing this the wrong way. And I'm going to call that liner. Oh, and I've got part of it hidden. Alt H, there we go. You I don't need. Oops, I can't get rid of you yet. Can I just do that? And then can I do this? Looks good. Bring you back. I'm just going to make a copy of that. When I combine these, I'm going to have to make a few changes. I got a little bit of that inside poking out to the outside here. We can fix that. Why have I got this? What's going on there? What in the world? I've got this extra little row in here that I don't need in here. Oh, that's probably, I think I know what it's from. And now I can't find my mouse or my cursor. There we go. And if I just dissolve that, yeah, that fixed it. Okay, excellent. All right, let's give this some materials and then we're going to call it, it's 9:03. So actually, let's hit save on this and call it a night here. So so we have our mic and we're making progress on the shoes to go with the reporter outfit that we're going to call deadline outfit. So it's basically a pencil skirt with a blouse, and she gets a news mic, and I'm just going to give her shoes because it just makes sense. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. Hey, if there's anybody still over on the YouTube, hey, thank you for being here. That is awesome. Like and subscribe. If you're over on Twitch, we're going to go raid out to somebody. So let's see who's on the Twitch first here. Is Andrea still on? I think on. Nope, she's offline. Mister, damn it. Meeksy is on with 63 people. I'm going to go down to the bottom of my list here and work my way back up. See if there's any lonely art friends. Hey, thanks for being here, Lund. I really appreciate it, man. And Art, it is always a pleasure to see you. I think you said bye already, though, but that's fine. So let me see if I can find any of my Twitch friends or any of my art friends, or you know what? We'll go over and say hi to Yerumakin. Yerumakin, the Pope of Indiana. He is doing puzzles and stuff. So it's cool to hang out with him. So we're going to do that. Thank you all for being here. I will be back in 2 days, Thursday, 7 p.m. for more stuff like this. It will probably be this outfit, but we'll see because I'm also working on the cave clothes, and we'll see if I have anything that needs to be done with that. Also, I have an outfit I'm calling Neo Asian, which is kind of a Shang Sam top and with a bare midriff and then a skirt that goes with it. And I'm not sure what I'm doing after that. I think maybe another Martian princess or queen is in the future here. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. We got raid calls. Hey, if you're not in the Discord, feel free to join. Hey, I sell stuff at Daz. Feel free to buy. Um, we have raid calls. If you can join the raid, that would be super cool. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to copy that one. If you are a subscriber, you get to use the sub raid call. So let's do this. Slash raid, and we're going to go say hi to our good friend Irumakin, who is currently playing Words on stream. Then he'll probably open a Kinder Egg, and then he'll probably be raiding out not too long from now. But he's a cool cat. If you aren't following him already, drop him a follow. You won't be disappointed. At least I don't think you will. I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna come over here, and I can raid in 1 second. All right. Hey, yeah, I hope you'll have a good rest of a Tuesday or Wednesday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.